Well, here's the latest. As you can see, we've got the engine back in the car. We've cleaned everything up here, cleaned the battery, got it situated. We've got everything connected, all the lines where they need to go. So yeah, it was a little challenging. When working by yourself, it's kind of challenging sometimes to get some of this done. The next step is going to be to get the suspension back put together. I went ahead and started on that. So I'll show you kind of what it looked like, and then we got it wrapped up. So on this side, as you can see, I've already changed out the lower control arm in order to have a new ball joint. I've got the drive shaft on the left side already inserted into the transmission, and you can see I've got the hub assembly sitting waiting on the new strut and shock that's going to go in on that side. I went ahead and started to get oil into the transmission because it takes a while to get down in there and work the air out of it, so you can't pour it all in at once. And then after we start the engine, we'll be able to top it off because the oil will need to get circulated into the torque converter and into the valve body, as we completely tried to drain everything. We've already got some coolant in here. We didn't fill it all completely up until we get it running, and again it'll circulate. I did go ahead and put some engine oil in it. I changed the oil in the old engine. It looked pretty black. Hadn't been changed in a while, but nonetheless it didn't look like it had any shavings or anything that would give me concern. Went ahead and changed out the oil filter, put oil in the oil filter because this engine's been sitting a while, and if you start it dry, you know, it could cause some wear or some issues. So put oil in it before I put it back up into the engine. And then as you can see on this side, I've already gone ahead and installed a new strut, and it's kind of dark in there, but you may be able to see. Hold on, get a light over here. You can see we've got a brand new strut in here, and then on this side we also had a new lower control arm that we put in there. So we've got that all reassembled back in there and got that done. So the only thing I've got left is to go ahead and install the other side. We'll get that side done. We'll go ahead and see if it's going to crank, and then we'll give you that. So yeah, got this side to do here on suspension work. Once we get that done, then we'll be ready to go ahead and crank this up. That'll be our next and final step. Well, actually we need to get our hood back on as well, so we'll work on that also. So here we are. I just finished putting some more oil in the transmission. We got this this suspension done on this side. So we've got the new strut in there. As you can see, we've got the lower control arm in there. So I think we're pretty much ready. I got the hood back on it. We're pretty much ready to give it a start and see if this thing's gonna kick over or what it's gonna do. and we'll see if we did a good job or not, I guess. So let's get over here and see if we can test this out. Go through the gears so we can make sure that we get a little oil into the torque converter, and we'll see. So let's see what happens here. Okay, here we go. It started up pretty good. Now I've got this ABS light here. I'm gonna have to check on that and see if that doesn't have anything to do with the sensors that I took off. Okay, but the engine seems to be running fine. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the gears and see if it's got gears. Okay, I feel reverse. Okay. Now I'm gonna go into neutral. Go into drive, I feel it engaged. Okay. And then I can go to manual mode. It went into 2. One, 2, 3, 4. Got a little shimmy there. I don't know if that's tire balance or what that is, but how fast did we get going? The speedo's working. Well, we got up to 90, so still got an engine light there, so I'm gonna have to check and see what that code is, and hopefully we can clear those codes. Those were there from before as well, so we'll see about that. And now we're back in park. I don't hear any rod knock or anything. This sounds like a good engine. Let's see if we can redline that puppy. That sounds pretty good. So I guess the next step is to go ahead and put the undercover on and lower it, and then we can take it for a test drive and see how it does. So far it looks like a decent job. Actually, I was surprised it started so easy. Got a little smoke in here from the, I don't know if you all can see it, but there's a little smoke. No, I don't think it's showing up on the camera, but there's smoke from the oil and stuff burning off of the exhaust and the engine as it warms up. We got our coolant level is good. So yeah, now we just need to finish checking our transmission oil, but we don't want to do that with it in the air because we want to make sure that it's on a flat surface when we check that final oil level. I just wanted enough in there to make sure that we got oil into the torque converter and all the gears were going in so that we got oil in the valve body and everything. So now we can just fine fill it whenever we get it on the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on. This cover on the bottom, as you can see, there's no cover there. Let's see. Here's the engine. There's a cover on the ground. I'll put that back up, and then while I'm under there, I'm gonna check to see if we had any leaks on anything. And one final check, we'll get air aired up in the tires. I noticed that it showed one of the tires low with one of the sensors, so we'll have to check and see which tire's going down, and we'll go from there. Well, I think this video's getting kind of long, so I guess we're gonna end it here, and then I'll put together the other videos. And if you like the content, please subscribe, hit the bell, give it a like, whatever. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you later. Sorry for not putting my face on this part.